Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So, news broke about yet another Trump associate who appears to be going to prison. Elliott Broidy has been a huge fundraiser for Trump and the Republican Party, and he even served for a while as the Republican National Committee's finance chair. I'll explain in a little while why he was forced to step down, but he was also convicted in a $1 million New York State pension fund scheme in 2009, and he narrowly escaped a 4-year felony conviction and sentencing after he agreed to cooperate with prosecutors in that case. So for his cooperation, the judge reduced his charges to a misdemeanor and basically let him off. But clearly, this guy just doesn't learn his lesson, because Broidy has now been charged with a federal crime to which he plans to plead guilty as well. The Justice Department prosecutors allege that since Trump's inauguration in 2017, Broidy received millions of dollars in exchange for his help in pressuring the Trump administration to end or limit its criminal investigation of a man named Joe Low, I believe is how you pronounce it. It's Jho, last name Low. Low was accused of embezzling approximately $4.4 million from the Malaysian Government Investment Fund, and he subsequently became the subject of a federal investigation in the US because he was laundering some of that money in the US. So Low was subsequently indicted in 2018 for money laundering and fraud. So they did prove that he did exactly what they thought he was doing. And to this day, though, he remains on the run. He's reportedly living as a fugitive in China. So this government pressure campaign tied to Low is the only crime in which Broidy plans to plead guilty, but it's not the only allegation being levied against him. Prosecutors say that Broidy committed conspiracy to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act by failing to register as a foreign agent and essentially obfuscating the fact that he was lobbying on behalf of foreign interests. So he and others were pressuring the Trump administration to try to get this guy either off scot-free or some sort of sweetheart deal. But beyond that, Broidy is also accused of working with a high-ranking Chinese government official to get the U.S. to extradite a man named, and I'm going to butcher this name, I know it, Gao Wengai, I'm not sure. It's the last name is Wengui. I'm sure I totally slaughtered that. In any case, this man allegedly made billions of dollars in the Chinese real estate market. And then in 2014, he fled to the US because he believed that the Chinese government was going to be charging him with crimes. And after setting up residence in New York, one guy, or however you pronounce his name, he became a vocal critic of the Chinese Communist Party, and he accused his government of corruption. Well, the Chinese government did in fact file bribery and fraud charges against him in 2017, and then one of his former assistants sued him for rape. So Wengai maintains that all charges are politically motivated. So how he's involved is Broidy's scheme essentially involved extraditing him back to China, where, if you know anything about the Chinese government, he would almost certainly face a death sentence or be sent to one of their labor camps, which is about the same thing. I mean, they're referred to as concentration camps, and nobody ever comes out of them. And in exchange for Broidy helping to get him extradited back to China, the Chinese government allegedly agreed to release an American that they have in custody. So others have already faced charges in relation to this whole lobbying scheme. At the end of August, Mother Jones news outlet reported that a Republican fundraiser named Nikki Malie Lum Davis was also charged for acting as an unregistered foreign agent. If you look at the Justice Department website, they do have a full press release about this. The Justice Department reported that Davis pleaded guilty to, quote, facilitating back-channel lobbying campaign to drop one MDB investigation and remove a foreign national to China. So the one MDB investigation refers to that Malaysian embezzlement case. And the Justice Department report states that for her involvement in this illegal lobbying scheme, she received at least $3 million. And then further down in their press release, they appear to refer to Broidy's involvement in the scheme and state that he was paid at least $9 million. They also mention another man who already pleaded guilty on November 30th of 2018. His name is George Himmenbotham, and again, involved in the same crimes. And previous filings and indictments were brought against a man named Pras Michel for related charges. Now, Pras Michel, we probably all know, he's a musician, and he was a former member of the band known as the Fugees. So all of these people appear to have been thrown under the bus by Trump's former assistant campaign manager, Rick Gates. He worked out a cooperation deal with federal prosecutors in 2018, and he was involved in this. They kept him in the loop, and they were communicating with him. They were kind of using him to try to get to Trump and set up meetings or golf dates and stuff. But back to Broidy, this guy, let's just be honest, he is a white-collar career criminal. He is the perfect example of the rot in the establishment in general. I mean, across the board, Republican and Democrat. But people like Broidy are in large part the reason why Trump won in 2016. They are the swamp that Trump railed against, but then brought into his own administration. And as I mentioned at the beginning, Broidy was forced to resign from his RNC position in 2018 because it came out that he actually used Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney, to cover up an affair that he had and pay the woman hush money. Sound familiar? And I still question whether that affair was truly that of Broidy's or if he was kind of taking one for the team, because it came out that that affair resulted in a pregnancy and that Broidy allegedly pressured the woman into having an abortion. But many people surmise, and I still wonder, if that affair and baby were the result of Broidy's misconduct or maybe Trump himself. Because you can get all the evangelicals to apparently, did not know this, but apparently it's very easy to get them to forgive and forget affairs. I mean, multiple affairs and grabbing women by the genitals against their will. So sexual assault and cheating on your wife, I guess, are not a deal breaker for evangelicals. But if it came out that Trump actually paid a woman and pressured her into having an abortion, yeah, that might not sit real well. So I don't know. Again, that's just speculation, but it just seems, it seemed very odd. But you would assume that maybe Michael Cohen would know. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible that it's just Broidy, but I don't know. It was also revealed in 2018 after a hacker broke into Broidy's emails and then leaked some of his emails that he was actively seeking contracts with the governments of both Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. So this is while he was working for the RNC, while he was working for a major political party in the United States, he's trying to obtain contracts with two countries who we have very tenuous relationships, let's say. I mean, they're more frenemies They've done a lot of bad. Their human rights abuses are egregious, but because of where they sit in the Middle East and that they pretend to be our friends at times, we forgive them. And apparently now we sell them millions upon millions of dollars in weapons, as Trump just did. So yeah, not good. Anyway, that is the report on Mr. Broidy. And if anything else comes up, I'll let you know. As always, like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Thanks for listening to Plants and Politics. The only way we can take our country and power back is to spread the truth and build an army. So remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again.